Hi everyone, I am EMRAH SARIBAZ, and as my dear colleague mentions, I am currently working at Userspots as UX designer, and today I am going to talk about trends, but I try to look at another side of the context because I know that trends are awesome, but sometimes they are used over and over again. And I feel sometimes like the girl on the screen. Everybody likes them, but it irritates me. I need to explain why and what are these trends. I try to explain it, but before the explanation, I want to talk about the definition of trend. As you can see, it's a general direction in which something is developing and changing. It changes constantly. Today, most of the designers just follow and apply them. And before trends, we need to redefine our priorities, like our customer needs, our content, and most importantly, our context. What is our devices? What is our circumstances? Now, we can talk about the trends that's overused. I found 9 trends that's really overused. It doesn't mean that they aren't useful or necessary, but due to overuse, differentiation between the companies become unclear and meaningless. Now, let's look at all these trends one by one. I will start with the hero images. This is the most commonly and most used trend, I guess, nowadays. I designed that page approximately in 10 seconds. It's good, isn't it? I add logo, navigation, content, and beautiful image with call to action. I know that I am surfing websites every morning in the work days. For example, I am looking for the product hunt, Dribble, Behance, all of the websites, but I'm always seeing that kind of pages. We really understand, we're really aware of that. This is the very important area of the page. This is above the fold. It is really, we add something meaningful. As a designer, we should believe that the image should be thought as the complementary of your content. It is just a push your content in a better way. Tim Keynes mentioned in his tweet that singularity in the design. I feel the same way, actually, when he looks at the web pages or the new products. They are all looks the same to him. And also, if all of us follow the trends, how we differentiate us from our competitors? The focus mainly should on the content, not on the background. And also, it is not just digital fields, it's also in the physical world. I am an industrial designer, actually, and I found that tweet from the Chris Lake. He mentioned that when he looks to all the cars, he really struggled to select a proper car for him. He needs to find the details about the car. This is all the items about the big image usage. I want to talk about the second overused trend, modular layouts. This is the second one, most well-known and most used nowadays. I believe that I'm also using this kind of modular layouts. It's really helpful for the responsive design and also help you to arrange for different layouts for different devices. But you need to have a story, first of all, and then you can arrange your layouts, you can use the modules. You need to lead your customer. You need to group this module according to your story. You can add some titles to them. Also, when I surfed the web, I saw that kind of pages they are giving so many options to the customer. We know that psychologically there's a threshold. We shouldn't give the customer more than 7 options. We need to define our main action, and we need to lead our users for the second page. The third overused trend, I believe, that the parallax scroll. I want to start with the definition of parallax technique. It allows the foreground and background content to scroll at different speeds, creating an illusion of the depth. Actually, it looks impressive and chic. But when I talk about the front-end developers, they said to me, it is really bad for the search engine optimization, because I am aware of that most of times texts are embedded in the graphics, and it is reduced to performance because of that graphics and JavaScript. And also it affects the loading time. All the parallax scroll websites, when you try to open, they start with the loading, and maybe 10 or 20 seconds later, you will enter the page, you will land the page. It is also, I found that bad influence on the users. The Journal of the Usability made a research about parallax scrolling. They mentioned that parallax, which found that considered to be more fun than non-parallax sites. Some users experience motion sickness and experience significant usability issues when interacting with the parallax website. It is really important information for us, because if you have a serious job, maybe you shouldn't use that kind of design trend. The other one is the carousels. It is an untold story, I believe that, because when I search the carousels, there are just Google search, I am showing that. It said in 2013 study showed that only 1% of the user clicked the carousels. But in Turkey, it's not 1%. We know that it is approximately between 20% and 30% because of the newspaper, because of the e-commerce websites. We don't have to trust always the Google search and always the UX stories. We need to make the research about our customers, our culture, our country users. It's also bad for the search engine optimization, because when I research, Google no longer crawls meta keywords, so they will take the keyword from the page. I found that. And also the carousel push your main content down below the fold. And also you can add some sliding animation to your carousel to help your user to, they don't have to click on your carousels. Now the most funny one is the loading, the overused trend. It's not a trend, actually, it's a kind of a necessity. It's really annoying to customer because of the waiting times. But preloaders, as you can see on the screen, can help improve your page speed ratings. And also, users don't want to wait without seeing any kind of progress. Also, it leads to, of course, low conversation and frustrated visitors. But we have some solutions for that, like the Facebook did. We can use the skeleton frames in our designs. And also, it's giving more clue to your users. You can use it in the e-commerce or a newspaper or your finance websites. The sixth overused trend is a pop-up login. It's really irritating one. It's really aggressive. Many sites would really like to sign up you for something like newsletter, for like in their Facebook page. This is really annoying for the customer. It's also lead to low conversation and mostly damage your brand. If you have to use it, you can use as a marketing automation tool. For example, most of the sites using something like that, when the user moves to close the page, in the browser, they are showing a pop-up giving you discounts or showing you campaigns. It's a good way to use it. You just try to keep the user on the page. And also, most important thing, I guess, you shouldn't use on the mobile web pages, because the first move of the user is the closing that pop-ups. They try to find that closing button. And also you have a choice to change it. You can catch the cookie of your customers. Maybe you don't show them in next 30 days. It's your choice. You can look at the pattern of the customers. The seventh trend, and also Vitaly talked about it in the morning, so detailed. I don't want to mention it so much. I'm just giving some clue about them. We have a space to show all the content, all the titles, all the navigation items. If we have a place, we need to show it. It's really important for the customer. In our research, I know that, for example, the contact, the price, opening hours, the number to call you, if you hide them, probably most of the users couldn't find it. The seventh one is the CAPTCHA. I'm really working on it. I try to find the better solution to solve that problem. They are really good line of defense for spam and bots, but difficult to read, as you can see. And also, most of the time, they are not work properly. Instead of protect you from the spam, these kind of CAPTCHA protect you from visitors you would actually want to welcome to your site. There is one solution I found that mostly used is Google reCAPTCHA. It is meaningful in English. I am not a robot, but when I translate to Turkish, it doesn't interest the Turkish customers. We need to work on the content, and maybe we can find a better solution for the CAPTCHA. And the last one, the ninth overused trend, it's a horizontal scroll. I write down it's against the human nature, but it is only for the web design. Because I know that in the research with our customers, the first move is scrolling down. It's a natural movement for them. If you want to use that kind of horizontal scroll, you can use it on the tablet horizontal. For example, most of the e-commerce apps using that kind of usage, you don't add keyboard shortcuts. Most of the users don't understand it and also don't use it. These are, if I collect all that information, I am not mentioned and I am not influenced you that trends are bad. It's not true. Actually, I know that I also follow the trends. But we need to just see that as in a dead time process, I guess. For example, Rick Monroe, UX the director at Phantom, mentioned that good design follows principles. It doesn't chase trends. I am also, as a designer, I am just following the trends, but I try to establish some kind of design principles for me. And also in the Userspots, we try to establish that kind of principles. The well-known principles is, I guess, the Dieter Rams' 10 principle of good design. You also can start from that principles, and you can improve or change according to you or according to your customers. These are all for today, and thank you for listening. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you very much. I have a little time to answer some questions, if you have. Oh, you don't? Okay.